It's true what they say. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. And you don't get too much more corrupt than Amanda Blake Waller, aka The Wall. And the things that she does in this book alone, whew, our heroes rather deal with like Perpetua or Darkseid, maybe the Batman Who Laughs, maybe. But there is a bit of good news. Because we're covering a DC book and a current DC book, your boy's back on the mic with one stipulation. What the f*** you talking about? We're going to have Marvel break down the different stories that we haven't covered on the channel that are going to come up in this book, you know, like Superman, what he's been going through, and Batman and Wonder Woman. I told you I'll get you back. Really? You sticking Puff Daddy with me? What do you mean Puff Daddy?
Don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing.
I mean, if we're going to pull receipts, you were Puff Daddy before he was. You know what? Whatever. I'm back. And in saying that, my name is Dorian. This is SCM Comics. We are starting our covers of Absolute Power with number 1. Our story starts off in Metropolis on a rooftop of a very high building where you have some bank robbers. We'll go ahead and call them bank robbers, are hauling ass to a helicopter. You got one dude who knows what city they're in. It's like, we're not going to make it. We're not going to make it. Other dude is like, man, calm your butt down. We're right here. We're going to make it. And that dude gets both his guns heated up by some heat vision. And the helicopter propellers are frozen over all of a sudden. And all you hear is, not so fast, because it's Superman. And actually, I got a question for you guys before we get too much further into this. If you had to commit a crime in one of these cities in DC, where would you commit the crime? Would you commit it in Metropolis, where you're dealing with an alien who, if he sneezes wrong, he can kill you? Would you do it in Gotham City, where you're not dealing with any superpowers as far as Batman goes, but if you piss him off too bad, he'll just beat you up, send you to the hospital, you'll be in traction before you go to prison? Or would you do it in Central City, where you could be robbing the bank, next thing you know, you're yeeted in jail in like 2.5 seconds? Like, where would you commit a crime at? Let me know in the comments. So Superman, hovering above like he always does, goes, the thing about silent alarm boys is that they're never silent to me. Goes, I'm gonna give you one shot only, to end this thing peacefully. Well, one of these dudes got the I can't go back. In other words, I ain't never ever going back to prison. And one of his partners is over there, is like, dude, this is Superman, put the gun down. Well, he's like, nah, you don't understand, I ain't going back. And gun goes off 2 times, and all of a sudden Superman just stands there because, you know, he's a man of steel. Unfortunately, you see him go right through him, and then he looks at his hand and there's blood on it, and then he starts to fall. And as he's falling and blood's coming out, that is one of the best like splash pages I've ever seen. This art is phenomenal. So then we cut to Keystone City 28 hours earlier, where we see Animal Man and his daughter come back from a camping trip. He's all complaining how he can't be sleeping on a floor like that. He's too old, or should I say on the forest floor. He's too old to do that. And his daughter's like, you know, giving him grief like daughters do. Well, they land in like a park area, and there's like kind of like a mob or a crowd. And all of a sudden, Animal Man gets hit in the head with a rock. And then the crowd's like, get him before they get us. You saw what they were doing. And Animal Girl's like, what the hell's going on? Well, all of a sudden, you see Animal Man getting pretty much beat down with like pipes and whatever the hell they can grab, and they're putting a beating on him. Animal Girl's like screaming, stop, leave him alone. And Batman and Robin in Gotham City is watching this on, because somebody's recording it, so I guess they're watching it on the feed. And not really the Batcave no more, because, you know, they're not in the Wayne Manor. They're in the basement of the Brownstone. So in the news feed, they pretty much say that crowd beat him to the point where he is in critical condition. And Batman, ever the strategist, has a separate channel that's called the Red Channel, that now he's calling out to everybody to let them know, hey, if you can hear me, let me know so we can get you safe. So on the next page, we see a news feed from Philadelphia, and the captain is just wrecking shop. Man, like, how many iterations are we going to go? He was Captain Marvel, and he's the original Captain Marvel on top of that. Then we went from Captain Marvel to Shazam. Now we're just the Captain? Like, what the hell's going on? Like, hear me out. If they stay on this route and they keep calling him the Captain and they redo the DCEU, that's going to be a dumb name for a movie. The Captain. The Captain who? Like, Captain America? He's with the other guys. Captain Ahab? Captain Kirk? Captain Jean-Luc Picard? Like, Captain who? So Mr. Terrific, he's on the Red Channel. He's like, this is fake as hell. At the time that they said that this happened in Philly, we were battling Gigantica nowhere near Philly. Nightwing hops on and goes, same thing with the Titans. They got us killing people at a refugee camp. They also got footage of Green Lantern Hal Jordan and Supergirl that's taking people out. Wonder Woman's like, this makes no sense because how does it have his ring right now? And Aquaman's like, yeah, and Supergirl's somewhere in deep space on a mission, so what the hell's going on? They also got footage of Firestorm pretty much destroying the hospital, and they got Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, killing all kinds of people. The Flash is like, dude, I barely got away from a mob, and I'm the Flash. And this is Wally West's Flash. Like, if you was reading comic books in the late 80s, all throughout the 90s, and well into the 2000s, this is your Flash. Wally West was the Flash, and he was my Flash. This is how I got introduced to the Flash, was Wally West. So he's talking to Hawkman, and Hawkman's like, what do you want me to do? Have the Justice League issue a statement? There is no more Justice League. Okay. Now, I know there's not going to be one book that come out that says Absolute Power Justice League. I understand that, but don't get it twisted. This is Amanda Waller versus the Justice League and other superheroes. Now we cut back to Metropolis and the Daily Planet, where we have Lois Lane, who is the editing director, and she's with Clark. I know what you guys saying. Didn't Superman get shot? Yeah, that was 28 hours into the future. Now, they know this is all fake. And Lois is like, look, we can't verify none of this stuff, so we're not putting it out there. So this one lady goes rushing Lois Lane talking about all this news, and Lois like cuts her off. It's like, look, that's like I said before, I say it again. We can't verify none of this stuff, so we're not going to put it out there. What the lady was trying to tell her, that Jimmy tells her, is that they are putting it out there, that their servers got taken over about 24 hours ago, and they've been airing this fake bullshit too. And pretty much while all this was going on, Amanda Waller was narrating in an email how the superheroes cause more damage than they avert, and how they need to be dealt with. And this is what she's doing, which she signed a letter straight to the president. So now we cut to the Hall of Order. I know it's a Hall of Justice. Hurts me to my soul to see this, but you know, especially if he was born in the 1980s like me, and used to watch Super Friends, then you know it's a Hall of Justice. I know they moved to the Watchtower a long time ago, but still, it's nostalgic. Now, this is the headquarters of the Government Bureau of Sovereignty, and Sage Steele, who is second in command, is to tell Amanda Waller how pretty much the government, president himself, has disavowed this whole operation, that they are on their own. And Amanda Waller, who is in charge of all this, and she's like, I know, I pretty much talked to the president before all this went down, and I stopped all this bullshit right at the rose bushes. Her fall from grace is going to be epic. Like, she normally doesn't get touched whatsoever. Plans never work out, but she's never blamed or she's never held accountable. But I think in this, when it's all said and done, she will, and it's going to be crazy. So Sage Steele is like, they don't like the disinformation. And she's like, disinformation? Let me remind you what these heroes are capable of. She's like, they have absolute power and they answer to no one. They adhere to a child's idea of morality. And like all children, they occasionally have tantrums that can turn this world into ash. I think she's mostly talking about Superman. So what you call disinformation, I just call information. So as they're walking through the headquarters, Amanda Waller eventually takes them to the bride of Brainiac. 1, 2, is this on? You're not the game. Shut up and let me cook. So in Brainiac Wars, I think that's what it was called, Brainiac is pretty much tired of dealing with Superman. And he's like, you know what? It's time to take him out. And I guess he forgot that he shrunk a city that had a whole bunch of Zarnians in there. The Zarnians are the species that Lobo pretty much is. And he pretty much brings them back, and now he has this army of Zarnians on his side that Superman and Lobo had to deal with. Like, I think the leader of the Zarnians was Lobo's mentor. Anyway, long story short, They get past them and come to find out that Brainiac was trying to build a wife. He wound up getting stopped, and the wife thought never came online, but as you can see, now she is. If I messed up anything on that description, feel free to let me know, because I glanced over Brainiac Wars. I really didn't dive into it. So out of nowhere, you hear this robot voice chime in, and then we see his failsafe. Time to play the game. How the hell do you break down this run in like 30 seconds? I'll try. It pretty much started with the Penguin. He faked his death like Batman killed him, which triggered this robot called Failsafe. He is pretty much the answer to what Superman asked Batman at the end of Tower of Babel, where he was like, so what's the contingency plan for Batman? This robot. It knows everything that Batman would do, so pretty much clapped his cheeks. It knows everything that the Bat family would do, clap their cheeks. It knows everything that the Justice League would do, clap their cheeks. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, they wound up stopping the robot from killing Batman, but the robot sent Batman into like an alternate reality. He lost his hand in that alternate reality, so that's why he has a robot hand, just in case you was wondering. He eventually made it back to his own reality, and come to find out, to create Failsafe, he created an alternate personality of himself, which was the Batman as R&R. A doctor pretty much helped him do this, who considered himself the smartest person in the world. Well, this same doctor also helped the Joker create 3 different personalities, which explains the 3 Jokers. So long story short, the Batman as R&R decided instead of taking over Batman's body, he would download his personality into Failsafe so that he could be Batman forever. The way that they wound up stopping Failsafe, or Batman as R&R, is that Jason Todd wound up sacrificing himself, and they brought him back because, you know, he died before, obviously. And when Batman R&R killed Jason Todd, that trigger Failsafe's main programming is to stop Batman from killing, or to kill Batman if he does kill, so he shut himself down. Now, I don't know whether this is Failsafe with the Batman R&R in it, or it's just Failsafe by itself. I don't know, but I'm assuming R&R is in it because Failsafe just kind of like operated on like a programming. This dude's kind of talking independently, so I'm assuming it's him. Now, the reason why Amanda Waller brought him back is because he is going to be in charge of Task Force 7, which, whew, man, you're about to find out. So now we cut to Titan's Tower, where Cyborg was trying to like hack his way into the feed so that he can stop it, but they had a virus installed and now it's giving him the blues. Barbara Gordon, Oracle, is trying to help him out, but also too trying to coordinate all the superheroes so they can all get to like a safe place so that they can stop being jumped by the public. Batman and Robin are out trying to help. Nightwing's trying to do the same thing, and he hits the nail around the coffin. He's like, this is probably Amanda Waller. He ain't never lied. So in London, you got John Jones, Martian Manhunter, Blue Beetle, this is Tech Core Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, Ice, Fire, and Elongated Man trying to help out where they can. In South Carolina, you got Red Tornado, and you got Natasha Irons, who is the niece of John Henry Irons, who is the original Steel. So now the comic book comes full circle. We see Superman exactly where he was in the beginning of the comic, and we see it looks like a robot that's checking him out. And we see Superboy, Connor Kent, and Jonathan Kent. I feel like it's also Superboy, even though I know we're supposed to call him Superman. They hear the shots, they see Superman fall, they go and catch him, and they're like, how can Superman be shot? Well, come to find out, the reason why he got shot is because of an Amazo robot. And he didn't just take the power of Superman, but he also took the power of Connor Kent and Superboy. And we see that there's more than just one. Batman finally realizes the plan of Amanda Waller, but it's too little too late. And we see that there is an Amazo robot for each member of the Justice League. But yet, still, there's no Justice League, right? Like I said. Yeah, right. And they are taking all of the superheroes' powers, including the ones they have no business being able to do, like the draining Dr. Fate, who is extremely powerful. Even more powerful than him is the Spectre. And they're draining him out of Jim Corrigan. We see the Flash drain. We see Wonder Woman drain. We're seeing Superman drain. And the person that's talking to everybody while all this is going down is Ollie, Green Arrow, who has defected to Amanda Waller's side. Damn it, Joshua Williamson, that's not how you end a run. Like, Amanda Waller covered all of her bases. She even made a deal with the United Planets to make sure that nobody leaves Earth and nobody comes to the rescue. And Ali is just feeling himself. He's pretty much letting them know that the time stream and the microverse have both been sealed, holding a hourglass, which is probably representative of the time stream, and the Atom's uniform, which is representative of the microverse. What they do with the Atom. He continues and says, Waller knows all the secrets. There's no escape, no exit, no hope. He also says, if you thought that you could just figure out how to destroy the Amazos and get your powers back, it doesn't work like that. These are new designs, new technologies. So then we see Jonathan Kent being drugged by his hair into the shadows, which is never good. See Wonder Woman beat the hell up, Superman shot and down, Aquaman beat the hell up. And the book ends with, seems like something's coming online. And he goes, where am I? I can't feel my arms, my legs. Why is it so cold? Who am I? And it's Jonathan Kent.